Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Layman's World. I am Angel, King of Mediocrity Martinez, joined as always by my beautiful co-host, Eddie Nags. Eddie, say hello to the people.
Beautiful, don't lie to the people, bro.
Hey, they can assess for themselves. This is what I think of you.
What
all
do you
right.
think, what do you think I put the low res camera on me?
We've got a very special show for you guys today. I normally don't say that, so it's true. We've got a guest that we were fortunate enough to see at one of the very few events that we've been able to attend over the past couple months because the world sucks right now. Welcome, please, Chris Dirtien to Layman's World. Chris, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, and you said it right. That's very uncommon. So
You want to know? You want to know why I said it right?
just
I was look. There was debate. There was debate. I was fighting with myself about it. I was like, do I go with the common theme of just butchering the name completely
oh,
and
exactly.
have a laugh about it? I was like, or do I really try to get this right? And I'm like, no. You're gonna be better than that. And you're gonna try. Trust me.
You're gonna rise above it. No, it is a weird last name. So when people fuck it up, they feel so bad, and I'm like, I don't care. Like you don't even have they apologize like they just killed my whole family. I'm like, it's fine.
But some people are like that though, you know.
That's true. That's true.
So some people are like that about my name. Like they'll be like, oh, what's your name? I'm like, oh, Angel Martinez. They're like, oh, Martinez, and I'm like, yes, but also Martinez. Like it's cool, dude. You know, you don't have to fucking. There's no one here that's
Right.
gonna judge either of us for this. We're fine. But
Well, not very often someone like to get my attention calls me by my full name either. They'll
True.
just say that. So it's like
True.
if they do, then it's like you're my mother, and that's weird.
Oh yeah, that's Hispanic culture too. You're in trouble. You
yes,
hear your full name.
Oh,
true.
even if the middle name is involved, then you're getting like this wooden spoon or some shit for me. Like I was like, fuck.
Well, that's interesting because I am I am an anomaly because I don't have a middle name.
Oh,
Does
okay,
not
nice.
exist. It's on my ID and social. No one believes me until I show them my ID and social. And then there was that one time I got ripped off and scammed. Never doing that again.
Let's check it out.
Do you,
Check
do
it
you have any
out, bro.
siblings? Do you have any siblings or no? Do your siblings have middle names?
Both my siblings, both my older sister. Oh, actually, I've got 5, and all of them, 4. There's 5 of us. All of them have three names. I'm the only one that doesn't have it. Originally, I was supposed to be Miguel.
Ugh.
Mom,
Okay.
mom killed it. Killed that one. Said no, I'm not having that. And they couldn't quite come up with another name, so they stuck with Angel. And I'm like, gee, thanks for that. So it's fucking awesome. You just don't know what it's like to be with someone, tell them that your name is Angel, and then look at you and be like, are you sure? Like
What?
Angel? Oh, you mean
Yeah,
And then people from the East Coast will be like, oh, you mean Angelo? And I'm like, no, man, I mean Angel. Like fucking Wings, Halo, the whole 9. Like that's
Or do you ever give the people that are like, you mean on hell?
yes, all the time. And
You're
I'm like,
no.
sure. If it makes you more comfortable, yes, Karen, you can call me on hell.
It
Absolutely.
reminds me of someone in Dexter used to do that. If you ever watched the show Dexter, she would always say it on hell, and he's like, "It's Angel. You can just say it."
True. I remember Dexter. Dexter was a dope show. We're talking about Dexter's Lab, right?
What?
Hey, both were great shows, though.
Yeah.
Both were great shows.
True. But
My little sister was like fucking Dee Dee. I hated her. I wanted to punch her in the face all the time. Wasn't her name Dee Dee? That
yeah,
little like blonde.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Diddy! Oh man, I loved it. So Chris, let's get on to business. Now that we've gotten through pleasantries, we've met everybody. Let's get on to why we're here today. Here on Layman's Word, what we'd like to do is we'd like to talk about all things that we know absolutely nothing about. So we do the best we can to have an outside perspective and really dig deep into what our guest is affiliated with, what they consider themselves, or what their profession might be, what their passion is. So today we're going to talk about being a comedian. And I want to know everything there is to know about you being a comedian. I want to know how you got there. I want to know what pushed you to start off. Give me a first glimpse of how this whole thing started. What was your first introduction to comedy? How about that?
First introduction to comedy would just be like we had the stereotypical like minivan, you know, like let's pile all the kids, and it was like fucking green. I don't know what my parents were thinking. But it's this nasty like puke green minivan, and whenever we go on road trips, my dad would always play the fucking Jeff Foxworthy tapes.
Wow.
Of like, you know, you're a redneck when, and like all this, you know, like all that dumb shit.
Yeah.
And so like I don't think like I understood what was going on, or like understood the jokes, but I knew that like my parents were laughing really hard, so I was like, this must, like, I don't know, you know, like
this must be good.
Yeah, so that was like I think the first foray, and then growing up just watching like even early SNL and stuff like that, and then it turned into eventually I would go to stand-up shows. Like the first stand-up I saw was Aziz on Sorry, I think. I don't even know when, but that was, I don't know. I just kind of like watched him do his hour, and it was just like, I could do that. Like you get cocky, and then you do it for the first time, and you're like, "Fuck me! Like this sucks." Like I was terrible my first like fucking year doing it. It was insane. But
I mean, the first time I saw Zeus, I figured I could do that too. But
he makes it look so effortless.
You do,
like,
yeah, he does.
Like, I can't even.
And so like
he makes it look like so easy. You know, like I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, for sure. All I gotta do is talk about stuff. All right, cool, right?
That's it. But I had the same cockiness. Like I watched, and I was like, I got this. And then like my first open mic, I just did 3 minutes about jokes on period blood, and no one laughed. It was so embarrassing. And like friends went, family, and like I got pity laughs, I guess, but I still watch that set today, and I'm just like, fuck. Like it's the most embarrassing thing.
You're like, what were you doing? Someday.
Yeah, in Grand Rapids, mind you, like fucking conservative white, like, and there's this kid talking about like going down on a girl when she's on her period, which I've never done. I just thought that was something people wanted to hear about.
You were going for raunchy, right? You were going for that.
I was going for something. I don't know. I think I've seen like all these raunchy comedians like talk about dirty shit. I'm like, I can do that, but you can't do it until you're somebody. I learned that very fast.
That's true. I actually, one of, I'm not going to call him a close friend, but a sibling of one of my close friends got into comedy, and I never got the chance to see him. But the only thing that anybody ever said about him was that the first thing he'd do was just attack the crowd. He would just pick someone out, start making fun of them, and just ride them. And it wasn't, you'd be surprised at the fact that it wasn't fucking, you know, that they didn't like that. You know, I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, who would? Like, I'd get it if someone came in as a professional and you're fucking amazing and you've got talent and you've got that and you're ragging on me. Yeah, all right, it's my turn, no problem. But we're here to support you. You know, we're here at the show and you're just gonna talk shit about me the whole time? Oh, come on, bro. We could do better than that. But
that also takes like it's called crowd work, and it takes. I don't do very much of it. Only when someone heckles me, I really like. I would never go out there and like. I forget. There was 2 comedians that went on tour, and they strictly just did crowd work. They went with no material, and they just went and would just riff off of like if they would see like a girl wearing a vest, they'd be like, "Oh, you own a yacht? Let's talk." You know, like just dumb shit. I don't even know. But they would do that for like 19 stops, and that's insane. Like I wish I had that talent, or maybe I do, I don't know, but just to go in there and just like for an hour just talk about people, like, but in a nice way. They weren't attacking like your friend was or whatever.
Right. But, just to be chatting
just to be able
them,
to do that is insane. Like
that's
it even
crazy.
took me a while to shut down hecklers. Like after a while, like you don't ever want them to win. So I would just like ignore them, and that didn't work. So for like, I don't know, it like when it first happened, like you get quiet and like boost your confidence, and you're like, fuck, am I funny? Why am I doing this? But then it's like, oh, it's just some drunk asshole who probably is holding a fish in his profile picture on Facebook, you know, like fuck this guy. Like he has nothing, like he doesn't even know what's going on. So
and everybody thinks that they're, you know, everybody thinks that they could do better up there than who they're watching, right? Like that's like a lot of people like what we said earlier. We saw Aziz Ansari, who's a professional, right? We saw him do stand up, and we're like, we could do that. So it's like I can only imagine, when someone's coming to see you, like at a, it's not a big venue or if it's a smaller club, and someone kind of has that attitude, and all they want to do is just bark at you all day because they want to be the funny ones, but they don't have the balls to go up there themselves. They just like doing it from their seat with a drink in their hand, just fueled up. Like liquid courage, like that's the only reason why they're speaking up, right?
And that's what's so like comedy is subjective too, because those famous comedians that are getting work now that I don't think are funny at all, but they clearly are because they have a career of doing it. So it's just like maybe that guy Kyle in the crowd who's yelling at me drinking Monster is funnier or whatever. Just like, but he's not doing it. Like I sucked the first like 3 years doing it until I kind of really figured out like a good point of view is what comedians really need to find. You find a good point of view, like that's key into making it, I think, because if you don't have a good point of view or an interesting point of view and you're just up there talking about online dating and stupid shit that anybody can talk about, I don't think you're going to make it, as opposed to if someone were to use, like there's a guy who uses like his stutter and tell a story about that, or Josh Blue, I forgot what he has, but he's a comedian. I think he has cerebral palsy or something, but he uses that of like all the jokes come from that. That's his point of view, but he's living with it. So, so it's like, until I found my point of view, I was not good at all. And my point of view is just like, you need to tell shit that actually happens to you. So I'm going to tell stories of like what happens to me on the bus or the train, or when drunk girls come up to me or just anything, when I first moved out here, I was talking about period blood and online dating and just like stuff that like people like I mean, it's so weird. It's just so night and day. So I don't know. It's for the better, but it's crazy how comfortable you have to be being poor, because like people that you just doesn't happen overnight for anybody.
Yeah, really. I imagine there's a lot of places that you'd have to go perform for free just to get your name out there. I'm not sure how many open mic nights. I don't know if you've even kept count, but how many would you say that you've performed at open mic nights?
I have no idea. Yeah, it's interesting. I've done everything from like, like a cool house show, like that last show I did.
Nice.
And then I've also done it like in a laundromat, and I'm yelling dick jokes at people that are folding their sheets. So like this is cool. They're literally folding their fucking twin sheets, and I'm like, so airplane food? Like it's like no.
Shout out Super Audio Network though for putting on an open mic. That's Dre Day All Day does such a good job there, trying to keep everything cool and keep everybody safe. And some people weren't listening, but it was a good attempt on his part to try to have some sort of function. And I certainly had a good time. I had a great time. Walter is always a gracious host, always a good host. Walter Reyes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
especially like for how DIY it was the most legit show. Like, because if you do a show at a comedy show, a comedy club, like you'll go there, I'll invite people, they have to pay $20 to see me, but then they get there and they have to buy 2 fucking drinks on top of that.
True.
And then you go to this house and you pay $15 and you get ceviche, you get tacos, you got a drink, you got marijuana, you got a whatever to be included into the drawing. Like, it's crazy what you got for your $15 ticket. And the comedians got paid. I usually get paid in mozzarella sticks. So shout out to them. He was like, what's your Venmo? And I'm like, why? And he's like, oh, we pay our comedians. I'm like, I have only gotten paid literally a handful of times.
Oh, that's
in actual money. Otherwise, they'll be like, here's a ticket for a free beer. I'm like, I just did 20 minutes and you're going to give me a Bud Light? Like, fuck you.
Come on, man. How many people bought beers while I was on? Come on, dude. Come on.
It's always going to be, but then I think that's the future of it. Like, I think if you could produce a low budge thing like that and just, it's super, I don't have the space for it, but still, for someone who does, like, just a cool ass yard show like that, like, that was sick.
Yeah, it was, I mean, he's had 6 now. I've been fortunate to go to all but maybe 2. I think I missed out on 2 of them. But every single time they just keep getting better, and he's tightening up on a lot of things, and each time he's just constantly improving, and I really enjoy what he does over there for an open mic. But speaking of which, right, we're talking about you doing comedy and being in an environment like that. Right. You said getting paid right? This first time that you'd ever gotten paid. Have you ever been to a place where like they're just like, yeah, no, sorry, kid, not today, with any intention to pay? Like, has anybody ever done anything like that?
No, actually, I actually haven't. That's cool because I've heard horror stories like that.
Yeah,
where, like,
that's
you
why
have to
I
like
asked.
fight to get paid, or you don't get what you're promised.
You just have to be like, yo,
or
what's up?
something. I think the weirdest thing that happened to me was I won an opportunity to like go on their main stage or whatever. You know, like I won the room. You usually have to rent it. It had a huge thing, so I was like, cool, I'm gonna film my half-hour special.
Nice.
But then like they didn't tell me they gave it to me on Memorial Day when no one is in town.
What?
So it's like, cool, I won it, like that's cool, but they were like, we only have this Sunday and Monday available. I'm like, well, you left that out when you said that we would win the main stage, you know? So that's the weirdest thing that's happened, I would say, in terms of pay, but it was a prize that I won. So it's like, I'm going to take what I can get. Fuck it, you know?
Yeah, that was fucked up though, you know? Like everybody's gone for the fucking weekend, no one's around, and they're like, oh, you can have the stage this weekend. You can have it Sunday or Monday.
So that was
pretty
weird.
fucked
So I
up.
still filmed the half-hour special, and
Good for you.
I think it could have held like 90 seats, and like 10 people came. So I was
Fuck
like,
it.
don't do any crowd shots. I don't want them to see how empty it is. Like,
So I play for a band, and we have not played, you know, very big shows. And some of the smaller festivals that we've been a part of, because of the time slots and what stage we were at, there weren't many people there watching us. Like, that's a fact. So we've got a lot of videos of us on like big stages, really big stages, like really nice setups, but no crowd shots whatsoever, just zero. Because there's like 5 or 6 people, and like 4 of them came with us. So
I did a comedy festival once, and the setup was so professional that like I was telling jokes, and there was 2 jumbotrons on either side of me with my fucking ugly face, like, you know, like how you do. But there was 10 people in the audience, and then there was maybe 7 or 8 people that were like not shipped here, but like bussed here from like a nursing home.
Oh, nice.
So like
nice.
all I could think of was like, A, like I have a crowd, and B, like these giant screens are for them to actually see who's on stage because they're 1,000 years old.
Oh my god, dude, these people are gonna
But that
die.
was like the first like, but yeah, you're stoked to be at a festival, and you're like, I'm gonna perform, whether it be for 5 or 10 people.
I don't give a shit. Yep.
Yeah, one time I did a festival in Kentucky, and I had to fly from LA to Kentucky.
Trip.
And my first show, like, this is all out of pocket. The hotel, the rental car, all this shit.
Damn.
I get there, my first show is at a library at 5 p.m., and there's 3 people there. And I'm like, I flew out from LA for this.
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah,
dude.
so sometimes you take a hit, and then, like, my next show was, like, a 7 o'clock fucking bingo show, and I was like, how is this going to work? And it was, like, dumb shit. Like, put a chip on it if the comedian talks about suicide. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give people 3 boxes here. Like, let's go. Like, it was just weird.
They should have gave you a copy of the bingo card so that you can be like, rape? All right.
Yeah, exactly. Are they wearing a necktie? Like, it was the weirdest things. Like, if they talk about their family members, like, you know, and then the people that are winning are all 65 and older, but like all the prizes are like Lego kits. Like, it was the weirdest fucking festival that I've ever been to. But you apply and you fucking just take what you can get. Festivals is a whole thing because you apply, you get a good video, you still have to pay $50-$60 each time you apply.
Oh shit.
So per year, I'm probably dropping $500-$600 on app, and like I wouldn't get accepted to a single one, but they still keep your money.
Wow, that's kind of a raw end of the deal, dude. That's cold.
It's how they pay for the festival, you know, and that's dope. And like
With
some
applications?
festivals, some festivals are doing a new rule where like you can't do it 2 years in a row because a lot of cliques are starting to form, and like you see the same lineup almost of like, dude,
Right,
you're on this
yeah.
festival in San Luis Obispo, and I saw you at Pine Tree
Yeah.
2 months ago in Minnesota, but then it's put on by the same kind of thing. So then it's like the
Yeah.
Slow Festival, for instance, now they have a rule where you can't do it 2 years in a row. You have to take a break.
Oh, that's
to
crazy.
give other people like a chance
This
to
is an
whatever.
opportunity
So,
to get their name, put their names in a hat. That's, I mean, I can respect
yeah.
that. I can totally respect that. That's actually cool, because I do see it, and especially in the music scene too. I do see it myself, where we go to some of these venues, or we see some of the shows that we're lined up with, and we do see a lot of the same, a lot of the same bands in the same places or in similar places. So I can
Yeah, because it's
totally
all
see that.
about who you know and stuff. But
Correct.
yeah, if it's the same thing over and over, you're like, okay, well, let's give whoever else a chance.
At the
But
end of the day too, it's all like, let's just be honest about it. It's all about money, bro. Who's gonna draw the most
oh yeah,
people in here? Who's gonna sell the most tickets? Like, how are we gonna get the most the most amount of people in this bitch, and get more profit, period. But it is cool that they are taking a step back and realizing, like, hey, this is not what it's all about. Let's also give other people an opportunity to come out here and perform for people that might not normally see them otherwise. So I think that's
or for
cool.
yeah, I remember like even in Kentucky, it was a comedy competition, and I made it to the finals. But you get to the finals, and you're like, I'm just excited to tell a joke. There's no way I can win. It's by votes, and I have no one here.
Yeah.
So when you have the person who won gets their aunts, their uncles, everyone involved to come out and party, they're going to be in the top 3 for sure. Sorry, what are you doing?
Wants to be on the podcast, bro. Meow.
That's my cat, Chainsaw. Yeah, no, he's chilling.
Yes.
He's blind in one eye, so half the time he doesn't know where he's going.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor little guy. Poor little guy.
But either way, I've only done like 4 festivals probably, but each one's been different and learning experience. And in the buttfuck middle of nowhere, one was in Indiana, and I was like, okay, let's brush up on like my corn jokes. Like I don't know, it was weird. But it was cool.
Question for you: where would you say has been your favorite show that you've been a part of?
Oh, I've been a part of like really good Comedy Store shows.
All right.
Regardless of like, I'm banned there now because one of the producers. It's a whole thing. But long story short,
Talk about his wife or something? Shit.
that was what was 2 years ago. No, I called them out because you have to like wait for them to give you the ticket link. And so like she gave me the link and like I clicked on it and all the early like tickets that were cheaper were sold out, and I was like, hey, what gives? And she's like, well, my show's that popular, it just sold out. I'm like, not in the 1 second it took me to click on the link.
Yeah. You
So
should
I
have given
called
the
her
link
out.
a lot sooner than
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And they just got upset because I was like, hey, if you just tell me that you didn't give me the link at the same time you gave the other comedians the link, like that's just tell me that,
Yeah.
So I got upset and I called her out, and then when I did the show, I straight up said, like, this is a bringer show, which means, I guess that means like you can't perform unless you bring a certain amount of people.
Oh, got
So
it.
she's like, if you bring 10 people, we'll give you 10 minutes. You get like a minute per person you can bring.
Oh shit.
Dang.
But they don't want you to tell the audience that, which I didn't know. And so like, and I guess it's for like, if the headliner's there, they don't want to think that like the headliner had to bring people, like they want them to,
Gotcha.
which I guess I get. But I still like, it was weird. She kept saying she has an organic following, and I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, you're just making up, So anyway, she went to the GM and was like, I was blacklisted because I just didn't like how she was running things. And I think I just like talked back a little more, but whatever. That was 2 years ago. I don't know if I still am, but I'm not going to try. Why do that show when I can do a cool show like on open mic? Like, why would I invite people from the OC where fucking driving to the Comedy Store, which is $20 in gas, let alone right there to West Hollywood or whatever, and then like expect them to pay all that shit. So I was like, when you can work with cooler producers like Super Audio Network and Walter, who aren't going to fuck you over and bend you over, and like you're not just a walking money symbol to them. So you still like I'm learning. Like some producers are dumb, and so it's just you take what you get.
Some producers are about the action and like about comedy, and then there's some people that are just there to collect. Like that's.
And everyone does bringer shows. I'm not saying like I'm above that. Like a lot of comedians are like, oh, I don't do open mics. Like I'm too good, or I don't do bringer shows. Like I'm gonna do any show that's gonna allow me to get on stage.
For sure.
If I have to go beg 10 people to come, cool. I've paid homeless people to come into the venue before to watch just so I can perform.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I just come in here. I just need a body. Otherwise, these 8 people that did come and pay aren't gonna be able to see me because I didn't get 10 people. That's so stupid. So now they don't even. I don't perform at all, and those 8 people just pay to not see me.
No, that's right, dude. No, that's absolutely right.
So,
And that's
so
a
it's
fucking
crazy.
baller move, bro. To just be like, hey, dude, you want to watch a comedy show? Come on, get in here. Get in here.
Like, come on, it's like it's 2 free drinks. It's like, let's go.
Dude, that's a biopic right there, bro. That's just that scene alone. I see it already. I see the 13.
There it is.
Biopic.
Did you have to coach them how to say your name before you brought them in?
No, exactly right. No, I'm just like, however you want to say it.
Doesn't matter.
That's why a lot of hosts mess it up, which makes that first joke work better. Like, even Walter was like, how do you say your name? I'm like, just wing it. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Just wing it.
Yeah, no, that's great, bro. That's a good shtick. I like that. But no, that's cool, man. That's cool. You know, a lot of Comedy Store. I would have never thought that there was so much politics involved with, you know, just performing, you know, like what you're saying, or just so much rigmarole just to get there.
And a lot of it is like lottery too. Like a lot of kids, like for instance, I think it's like on Tuesday, you can go to the Laugh Factory, line up for an hour and a half, and that's just to put your name in a bucket. That's not even a guarantee. That's just to get your name in the bucket. So then you have to show up on the actual open mic, which is like 2 days later, and sit in an audience and buy drinks, and you don't even know if you're gonna be able to perform. So now you're just like, so for a while I was wasting a shit ton of money just going to open mics, buying beers, just watching other comedians perform because my name wasn't getting pulled from the bucket.
That's wild. I heard about Jamie Foxx and how he started, and how originally that, like, because that's not his real name. I don't remember what his real name is at this point, but apparently he was showing up to nothing but open mic nights, doing the same thing with just what you described, but because his name, his real name didn't pop off of a list, he just kept getting ignored. Like, they were just not calling him up. So finally one day he showed up and he decided to sign on as the name Jamie Foxx. His intention was for them to see a female, because anytime that a female would show up, they were guaranteed a spot, and they would call them up, like every single solitary time, because the females just wouldn't come out as much. So when they did show up, they'd pick the name off of a list and be like, all right, come on up, where's she at? And so they did that with him because he wrote Jamie Foxx. They thought it was a woman. They're like, Jamie Foxx to the stage. And he got up and they're like, ah, shit, this guy. They're like, fuck. But yeah, dude, that's how Jamie Foxx in Santa Monica, he made his claim
I wish
to fame.
they would still do that. I wish they would look at a list and like pick off a name, but they're like picking like a raffle.
Oh,
Is that right?
You know, and like pulling it out of like a cup or whatever. Like it's all blind. But
Really?
Then I went to an open mic one night, and sometimes they have like a 1-item minimum. So you have to buy a drink from the bar. Then you'll take the receipt, put your name on it, and that's what goes in the bucket. It's kind of like give the bar some money for letting us do a comedy show. You know, we're gonna give you some business.
Yeah.
But me and my buddy went, and we both bought our drinks, and we're sitting there, and we watched 3 comedians come up and just like take our extra credit card receipts and use that to put their name on it, and didn't even buy a drink. They just went up and took whatever piece of paper. You know, because you know how
From
they
your
give you
table?
the merchant copy and your copy?
Yeah.
They would just go up to,
Shut up. That's cold.
And they would put like 3 or 4 slips in, and so then they're guaranteed to be called before you. So that's what sucks, because I'll go to an open mic, and it's like from 8 to 11. And a lot of times I won't perform until 10:30 at night when there's just 2 comedians left and you're just performing for 2 people. Whereas the people who got pulled at 8 could perform for a whole room.
Right.
And then it's way better than as if, okay, I'm going at 1 a.m. now with my one friend here, and that's it. Like, it's just like, okay, the host is tired, everyone's falling asleep.
Yeah, time to go. That's crazy. I didn't know fucking comedians were so goddamn cutthroat.
Oh yeah. I mean, you do find your you know, this is just my experience, but I also don't. People think that my mistake is like I don't go schmooze, I don't go rub elbows enough. Like, I think I would make it faster, if that's even a thing, if I were to go to the comedy clubs on my free nights. And like, I hate networking. I don't like talking about myself. I don't like. Yeah. I'd rather invite you to a show and you come see what I'm all about than me being like, I'm funny and like telling you. Like, right. It's weird. Yeah. But it's a thing you have to do. So even at other shows, you have to like talk to other comedians and be like, yo, you know, so. It works, but I like when it happens organically. Then I'm gonna go out on Tuesday night to the Laugh Factory,
right?
get a table for one and hope that someone talks to me. Like, I don't know. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean that's how people operate, though. You know, like people
You
have
have to
objectives.
if you want,
Yeah,
if you want to know people, but that's just not how I'm wired. So I would rather do like a friend of a friend or a mutual friend, or if I meet someone in an open mic,
right.
like I met you guys randomly, like
True.
it's not like, but people would go if you guys were at a table, like just to walk up to you, like I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's
weird.
definitely weird. But I mean, that's one
But
of the
people
things.
who are gonna make it quicker than I am are gonna, they're out there doing that every single night. I don't have the A, money, and B, like
True.
I generally like just don't like people sometimes too. So it's like I don't want, so it's like fuck. I just don't. I'd rather like sit at home or
Just hang out with chainsaw.
Or I would go out with friends, but like when you have a clear goal of like I'm going somewhere just to talk to strangers, like that's fucking weird to me, and I can't do that. I don't know why.
The funny thing is that like as a bartender, for as many years as I did it, that was pretty much what my profession was, is just talk to strangers. Like as a bartender,
get paid for it. But
hell yeah. But it's funny because I would then take that, right? I'm getting paid for this this service that, I mean, I'm gonna be fucking honest. I don't think that's a job. It's not a job. It is a joy, is what the fuck that is. Bartending is a fucking joy. I was never happier than when I bartended, because I was getting paid to party and have a good time. This shit was fucking awesome. I love every minute of it.
The right bar is key, because I bartended at like Applebee's, where they make you measure everything out and you get in trouble if one thing is an ounce off. But if you're like at a bar where you can like shoot shots with the customers and shit, then absolutely.
See, I worked for a chain like that, and the crew that we had, we were all kind of real smart about it. See, everybody would overpour. Dude, with the whole crew would overpour like a motherfucker. Everybody. We would pour stiff drinks, because if you didn't, you'd get them sent back right away. And nobody wants to deal with that bullshit. So it's be like, oh, what are you into? Oh, let me get a Cadillac. Did you mean an Escalade? Because I can hook that up. Like, all right, for sure. Like, I got you, bro. And it was so
Cadillac's
easy.
my drink of choice, man.
That's what's up.
I fucking black out on Cadillacs, but in the best way. Like, if you give me a Cadillac, and what sucks is like you can't make them at home. You can, but you need a shit ton of ice, and it's not the same if someone handshakes it for you behind a goddamn bar.
Yeah.
Instagram on the air, like it's the best thing.
It's just not the same. Yeah, exactly. Like me personally, right? Like I did the job for so many years. I have the know-how. I can just get the bottles, but even then, I'm like, fuck this. I want to go have someone make it, and I want to watch it be poured, and I want to watch this guy do this thing over his head. Like I want to see that.
Yeah,
I just want to be in there. Yeah. That's what I want. But that's fucking one of my favorite jobs ever, dude, because I never really worked. I'm sitting there and I'm partying with people and I'm having a good time and getting paid for it. But then I'm off, right? And then there was always like, hey, what are you doing when you get out of here? And I have guests asking me what I'm going to do. And I don't know. What are we doing?
Gotta go drink somewhere else. Yeah.
You guys want to go drink somewhere else because I can't drink here. All right, cool. Let's go. And
I never thought that I would miss overpriced drinks so much.
Dude,
in this quarantine. Like,
seriously.
I will pay $30 for a fucking margarita at this point. I'm like, I just want one.
There was a sweet spot in Long Beach, and I want to say it was Lola's Mexican Cuisine. They are kind of an upscale Mexican restaurant, so legitimately like a 3 taco plate is going to cost you like $13 or something like that, which is not that crazy for a sit-down restaurant. But what they were doing during the quarantine when it first started was they were selling 32-ounce margaritas. 32 ounce. So picture a fucking Gatorade, a Powerade, whatever the fuck you want. 32 ounces for $5. $5, bro. I showed up with $20, put it all in my trunk, got home, and my girl and I got ripped. It was fucking awesome. I loved it. It was great. Can you tell I miss bartending?
I know. I need to figure out how to get a Cadillac margarita after this.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
Like because now you can like Uber Eats or whatever. Like you can get alcohol delivered to you. It's insane.
It's wild, right? Things that used to be illegal.
Because they just allow that rule now. Like now I'll be like, oh, let me. Like even when you could dine in when it first opened up, we went to a dine-in and we ate and got our thing and we're like, so now can we get drinks to go? And he's like, well, not really because you guys ate in. But I was like, well, what'll tip you better if you just, So he let us take 4 margaritas home. Like, it was like, let's go.
I can give you one tip. which is really cool. Now I don't know if you ever like hung out in Hermosa Beach, pier. You could order the drinks and drink them on the boardwalk now, which is something you weren't able to do before. So I don't know if there's good Cadillacs out there, but you could definitely do that in Hermosa now, which is pretty awesome.
And hopefully they continue that stuff.
I can definitely really cool. Say you can find with Sharkies and Hennessy's there, all that good stuff along that boardwalk. You can find you can definitely find a good Cadillac over there. You will definitely find one of Escalade-like proportion, for sure. For sure.
But it's cool that they let you like take it out and like walk on the pier with it, or like. Do they let you take on the sand and like the beach and stuff, or no?
No. Just the boardwalk, strictly the boardwalk.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's amazing. There are some redeeming qualities from this whole, COVID thing. I'll say there's certain things I do like. The adult in me certainly likes shopping at fucking Costco when no one's there. Like, that's my fucking favorite. It's no longer this fucking zoo. I can just go in there, go about my business, get the fuck in and get the fuck out. It's great, and I love that. But being able to drink on a boardwalk, outside of the bar, just chill. Like, right. and where places normally would be like, oh, no, sorry, so you can't take that out there. You can't go beyond the patio section. And now you can just go wild like that. Like, that's fucking rad. I like that.
Yeah, they just give it to you in a plastic cup, like if it makes a big difference and shit.
I just love how I love the dynamic of last year. It's like, let's get rid of plastic straws. Let's get a plastic everything. And now, like, come this year with the quarantine, everything's in takeout, plastic cups. They're bringing plastic straws back. So everyone's like, dude, fuck turtles, like Granny.
Straight up. Fuck turtles. That's what it should be. I
still think is like, everyone's like, oh, save the turtles. But there was that one video where they pulled the straw out of the turtle's nose. So that was one turtle. Like, you didn't show me 1,000 videos. Like, one turtle died of a straw. I don't think a bunch did.
How did that straw get there, though? How do we know that turtle didn't have a coke addiction or something?
I'm just saying, bro. That thing would have had to have, like, taken a serious breath to get a fucking straw lodged in its nose pretty deep like that. How much water was it taking in? That's unreal to me.
If Disney is listening, this would be a good spin-off from Finding Nemo, for sure. How those sea turtles doing coke. And
or it's a good, what do you call it? Fucking PSA, marijuana. Marijuana is a gateway drug, because that turtle was high, and it just showed that. Do you want little squirt to grow up without a father? Some shit like that.
Because if you don't, then like be normal and like do your coke with like $1 bills like everybody else.
Exactly. I don't know who the fuck said that. It makes it fancier when when it's a higher dollar. You know what I mean? Like with $100 bill, like it makes it fancier. No. It's still grungy, dude. Like there's no
it's
like.
Still, I've done coke with like a cut up McDonald's straw. It's like it's in there. That's what it counts.
Did I get the job done? Yes. Was it effective? Yes.
No, there was I forgot what comedian it was, but he did do this joke about how you shouldn't be doing coke with anything but $100 bill, because if you are, then you can't afford to be buying coke.
That makes total sense, dude.
That makes sense. And then actually, I'm gonna have to look back on my life and see. Clearly, I've made some poor choices.
I'm doing coke with like $1 I found in the fucking dryer downstairs in like the communal laundromat. I'm like, no, this isn't me.
Monopoly money and shit.
Oh, man.
Right?
This dollar's wet.
$1 bill.
Why is this dollar wet? I don't know, but use it.
It works.
It works, man. Come on. Hurry up.
Side note, I was on pills, I think, at Coachella.
Nice.
And
what year?
Oh, I don't even know.
All right.
I'm gonna say the last time I went was when Lady Gaga replaced Beyonce. So whoever those two.
That was my first one.
Nice.
2017? I think it was 2017. It was my last year. Yeah. But even rolling on pills, I went to the bathroom. I'm in the porta potty, and I caught a glimpse. Like, I looked in. I don't know why I looked in the bowl. It was just.
You were interested?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a car accident. Like, you don't want to look, but you kind of have to. So I did, and there was $200 bills rolled up sitting there, like people were using for coke. And I decided that it wasn't worth it getting my fingers dirty to get them out of there.
Ooh.
I don't know, man.
But that was a
tough
tough.
one,
I
man.
had an inner monologue with myself for like 10 minutes about like, just do it. You can wash your hands.
I'm doing that
But then I'm
shit
like-
right now, and I don't even really have that choice.
But it came down to it where I was like, no, dude, I'm gonna get like HPV or something. I don't know.
You're right. No, that probably was the best move. That probably
I
was
would
the
have
best
gotten
move.
shit all over my hands and like who knows what little cuts, you know? Like I was like, I just don't trust. It's $200 that you can just let lie. I think this one time.
True. What if you were, and then in this day and age, like, what if that was some kind of like prank, like hidden camera prank thing?
Right? Maybe
You
if
know?
it wasn't like, maybe if it wasn't a festival porta potty.
Maybe. You're
Because
right.
like fuck festival porta potties and like construction porta potties. But if it was like, you know, if it was anywhere else, maybe. But it was, I don't know. Because even the people who were doing the coke clearly thought it wasn't worth it either. They were like, we're gonna.
They're like, fuck it, it's gone.
Well, obviously, if they could afford to do coke, they could
Clearly.
afford to do
Right? Clearly, they could afford it if they were like $200 bills.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. They failed once, and they're like, "Oh, get the other one out." And then they got the other one, and they're like, "All right, dude, we shouldn't be doing this now."
Yeah, either third time's a charm or they fucking gave up. and
Choices
like, no.
were made. Like, fuck it, bail. Let's be out.
Even after the first $100 bill, you think they would use a smaller one, like a 20, but nope.
No, bro, that's not a festival mentality. Come on, Chris, that's not a festival mentality.
I wouldn't take Eddie's thing and just have like 4 $10 bills from Monopoly in my wallet at all times.
There
Boom.
you go.
There it is,
That's
dude.
baller right there, bro. They're gonna be like, man, this guy can afford to lose game pieces. Damn, is this the
Because it
limited
wouldn't matter
edition?
if you dropped it. It wouldn't matter.
I want to after party with this guy,
Yeah.
for sure.
When shit's not so crazy, you gotta make it happen.
Coachella is definitely not for the faint of heart. I want to recommend it to everyone. It does take a certain kind, but for those people that I do come across, and there are people that I do recommend it to, I really wish they would get off their ass and go. Shout out to our producer today, Bryant. One of these days, we're going to get you off your ass and out there, buddy boy.
He's been there once.
I mean, yeah, just do it once. It's interesting. Like I don't know. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's kind of like when someone tells you, like, oh, you got to try In-N-Out. And you try it and you're just like, well, I'm glad I did, but like it didn't change my life. That's how Coachella is.
Yeah,
It's like,
absolutely.
oh, people tell you gotta go. It's so life-changing. You find yourself. And you go there, and I was overheated and hungry for 3 days and asking people too many personal questions because I took too many Adderall. Was it fun? Yes, but could I die of like without doing it? Also, yes. So it's
Yeah,
like,
probably. There's always a risk. Like, you know what you get yourself into. We're adults, right? And you're out in the fucking desert, and you're going to think about that shit. I don't think a lot of people do. You're in the fucking desert. You're going to be dancing your ass off, and you're probably going to be sweating a shitload, right? So you got to fucking hydrate. You have to nourish your body. And I wish that a lot of people would have, you know, these little PSAs for our younger first
get
ever
off
goers.
the crowd, like,
Yeah, dude, because, man, it hurts it just hurts to watch somebody just so far gone, curled up into a ball, just on a random, just, you know, there's nothing you can do to help them. They're like, they're with their friends, but you can't get them out of there. You can't just magically make them feel better, you know? Like,
but what sucks is like
terrible.
that's like, it sucks, but like that's part of festival life. Did you
True.
go to a festival if you didn't almost die?
Seriously, it's a rite of passage.
Like seriously, if I didn't scare my friends once, or like, you know, if I didn't, you know, it wouldn't be a real. But also, like, good for them that they're having that experience at a festival, because I would see that on a Tuesday when I'm walking dogs and someone's doing that. I'm like,
Sorry,
this
buddy.
is time and place to almost
Sorry,
die,
buddy.
and that's at a music festival, and not, in this dog park. Like,
Yeah. What was your plan at the dog park, by the way? Taking pills or fucking doing whatever it was that you're doing at the dog
just
park?
have all the time in the world. They just like, let's go.
Maybe they're doing it at the dog park because their life is rough.
Oh, good one, bro. That
There
was
we go.
quite nice. I gotta give it to you, bro.
Careful, Dirtien. I'm coming after that job.
Oh,
Stealing that joke. I'm writing that one down.
coming to the stage.
I swear, bro, you're gonna make it on TV one day, and then it's gonna be the joke that kills it. I'm gonna fucking throw a bottle at the TV.
I know, you're gonna break your own TV getting mad at me. You're like, fuck this white guy.
Oh man, that's tough, dude. I love it. Great. Great. I love the ad lib. That was amazing, bro. I love it.
But I do. I've caught on different occasions them taking shits in there. So I think they take shits in the dog park and either leave it or get one of the bags and pick up after themselves, which is nice, or bury it like a fucking squirrel. I don't know what they do, but
It's probably one of the most inconspicuous places that you could probably just go take a dump, right? Like, you could just do that, and then nobody will look at you funny when you're walking away from a turd. Like, they'll be like, that might have been
but also
dog.
they're not going to make eye contact with you. Like, if you're shitting on the street,
Yeah.
I might look you in the eye. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm like, no, I'd like maybe take that back. But I wouldn't like lock eyes with you if you were shitting in a dog park. I don't know.
It's tough, man. It's tough because sometimes you see people doing some crazy shit, and it's hard to look away. Like, it really is hard to look away. You're like, is that really happening right now? Fuck, that's happening. And you can't help but look over, right? But
I've done that numerous times, and like half the time, 9 times out of 10, it's someone taking a shit. And you're like, you know what that looks like, but you're like, I don't know, weirdly interested still. It's like a car accident, like I said earlier. It's like you don't want to look, but you almost have to. I don't know.
and then right now, the way the world is, like, no one's allowed to use a public restroom anywhere. It's so hard to find a public restroom. And so it's not just homeless people doing these things anymore. It's just people now. Like, people are like, fuck that. I have to take a shit. I'm going to have to do it somewhere. And they'll just pop a squat. Fucking everyone else is doing it. Fuck it.
That's a tough choice.
Well, that's another reason why earlier we were talking about how I couldn't be homeless. I couldn't go and just fucking broad daylight take a shit at 6th and Grand downtown outside Kohl's, just like with fucking people walking by. Like, I'd have to schedule all them at night or some shit. People are just fucking 12:30 in the middle of an intersection, horns honking, like
not giving a fuck, bro. Yeah, doing God's work, Just letting all that.
Doing God's work.
Yeah,
in the middle of the intersection. It's like, come on, take it to the side. Take it to the side.
They have to do it in the middle of the intersection, don't they? They just absolutely
must. They want you to watch. I feel like they think they don't know what's going on, but they are like, listen, if I have to be homeless, you have to watch this. Like, you have to watch me be homeless. That's what's going to happen.
Sorry to mildly inconvenience your perfect life, but some of us have to take a shit around here.
Yeah. Some of us don't have $100 bills to do coke out of.
I know, right? We're not all that blessed.
Yeah. Some of us are living that turtle lifestyle.
Oh, man. Dude, the streets are wild right now. The streets are too crazy right now. It's tough out there. You got to be careful everywhere you go at this point, and you really got to be careful with what you say to people, because even the slightest thing is a trigger.
Also, you got to be really careful if you were clean before, I think, because you don't hear about any crackhead or homeless person getting corona, but it's because they're all immune because they've been living in dirt and filth for, like they're just like, oh, that's Tuesday night for me or whatever. I don't know.
I've always said that in a zombie apocalypse, the survivors, the people that would push the human race forward, are going to be people that are already homeless, because they already know the law of the land. They've survived without all the things that we take for granted, electricity, fucking whatever utilities we use. They survive without it all day, every day. They already know.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And they don't, they can't, I don't want to say they can't get sick, but I feel like they've built up such I don't even know what to call it, but they built up such
they're just
germs or whatever. Yeah. So that it's like they don't get the flu ever or whatever.
Right. They're just stronger. It's because of all the crack, though. Let's not credit them so much as much as the crack, like it kind of fuels your system and everything just kind of comes in and out. It just kind of passes by. It's not that they don't get sick. It's just that they get sick and get over it really quickly.
But they're paying for it with their teeth too. So it's like, do you want to be super strong and only have suckers for the rest of your life, or I don't know. Also,
dude, they're excreting everywhere, so that helps. Just dropping logs all over the place, it's gotta help, right?
But sometimes there'll be just villages, and that's where during my set I talked about I got mugged, but you'll be walking past all the tents and just hope that just stay inside, because if they do come out, then it's you don't even know what you're gonna come across.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 they don't leave you alone, and then it's what do I have that you possibly? Well, they want money, but it's I don't know. I'm just headphones on, I don't want to be talked to, and they'll still come over and act like it's the weirdest thing.
No, it is, and they're bold sometimes too. Like they really are. Like they go out of their way because it really depends on how you interact with them or how you came to be in that situation. But I've faced a similar situation where I walk by this whole like village. They're on both sides of the street. I need to get to the other side, and this is the only way I can get through. So I've got to take this walk. It's me and a couple friends. We're just trying to get through, and I can see them all. They're all peering out there, out there.
Yeah,
they're looking at us. They're like sizing us up. You know what I mean? Like, do we start this shit or not? Because yeah, they could easily, if they wanted to, fucking take us all down and kick all of our asses. Eddie was with me that day, and it's an unnerving feeling to not to know what's about to happen.
And it's like, you could fight back and tackle them, but like I want to touch them in the least amount as possible.
Correct. Can I outrun them?
Hit them or like punch them or do whatever. Like you still have to make physical contact with them. So
Correct. And I mean, listen, dude. I've tried really hard like my whole life because my mom kind of taught me to just be kind to others. I made the mistake a lot when I was younger where I would, if I was asked for a couple bucks here and there, like, man, if I had it, I would just shoot it, be like, here you go, bud, whatever. It wasn't a big deal to me. Then I got offended at some point in my adult life because I figured out that these assholes, some of these guys, I'm going to say some of them, aren't actually hungry, right? They're looking to feed, but feed their addiction. And it took for me to become an adult to realize that was happening. And then when I found that out, then I just got mad. And I'm like, man, fuck this. Nobody's getting my money anymore, ever. And I would just say no all the time. Then I found myself being a fucking dick. And I'm like, okay, all right, just slow down. These guys are going through some tough times. So the habit that I started making was, I'm not going to give you any fucking money, but I'll gladly buy you something to eat if you're hungry. Especially if they're asking out in front of a restaurant or whatever, fucking Starbucks, whatever. Did you want something? And I've actually had a more positive response with that because guys would look me dead in my eye and be like, nah, dude, I'm good. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I know what this was about, right? We know what you're looking for. I'm not going to give it to you. All right, I'm out. Bye. I feel less bad about not giving you money because I knew what it was going for. All right, cool. I'm out.
Yeah, you're a better human than I am because especially now, the joke or whatever is just there's like the coin shortage everyone's saying. So it's now like when crackheads are always who ask for money, that's my excuse. Like, bro, do you know there's a coin shortage? I don't have any change. They won't give me any, so I'm sorry.
I'm trying to keep all my nickels, man. Come on.
That's cool.
Or pretty soon, like homeless people are just gonna have like a little sign that has their Venmo. Like, can you just Venmo me? Like, it's gonna get to that point where
I don't know, man. I think I'd get a kick out of that and not actually send them money.
Yeah. I think one of the coolest signs that I ever saw was in Santa Monica. There was a guy that was just pandering there, and his sign said, need money for karate lessons. Ninjas killed my family. Awesome. That was pretty fucking creative. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, here. Have it.
There's the guy. He's always downtown, but he has kind of a cool sign. His just says, please, need money for weed. I lost mine in a bunch of little small fires.
Fucking cool. Arsonists. God damn it. Yeah,
but
man.
Also, like, I've come across, like, people that will... Like, I used to do this whole bit about, I used to drive before I sold my car. So, like, if you were to drive and get off the off-ramp and there's someone, like, juggling, like, I'm going to give them a couple dollars. But if you're just sitting there holding a sign, like a lazy piece, like, no, get up and twerk for me or something. Like, I have to work for my money. So if you, like, a little bit, that's a little selfish. But there's people that are like, I'm gonna wash your windshield. Okay, yeah, I'll give you $2. But if you're just gonna be sitting up there just like a lot of times they don't speak English, they just scream like Mah!
Yeah.
You're like, if I did that in a job interview, like, no, if you want money, like use a complete sentence and like it's so crazy. But I would get off the 710 at like Firestone. I don't know if you know where that is. Like back when I drove.
Oh boy, do we know?
Yeah, if you were.
Well, I used to work at the Johnny Carinos in Downey.
Okay, okay, all right.
So
now we're talking. Now we're talking. Okay.
On like Lake something, Lakeview.
Lakewood.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always drive to work, and I I would get off, and there was this guy who, I don't know if he went to clown school or what, but like he was a legit juggler. I was like, fuck. And he had like 3 teeth and was homeless. And I was like, I gotta get every day. I was like, dude,
I gotta
do
hook
a
you
little
up.
routine. It's like, I gotta throw him $2.
Something, yeah.
Got to.
That's what's up, dude. No, that's
Shout out to
awesome.
him. I
That's
hope he's
talent,
still
bro.
alive. Like,
Right, dude. So
that was like when I first moved out here. But yeah, Downey, man,
that's where it's at. The
like,
landing, bro. The landing, right?
The landing, because it was right next to a Chili's, right?
Yep.
Just to give
There's
you
a Chili's over there, and a weird elephant bar. I don't think it's there anymore.
It's gone. That is an Acapulco. What is it? An Acapulco's
Pescador.
now or Pescador now? Yeah.
What was it called though? What was the
elephant.
Was it called Elephant Bar?
It was the Elephant Bar. Yeah, before.
Oh, okay.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah, all that shit used to be back there back in the day, but
Yeah, trip out. If you were coming here, you'd be getting off on Firestone.
Yes.
710.
okay.
But you'd be going the other way.
Yeah.
Towards Southgate versus towards Downey.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
That's
not so
that's
nice
where we be.
side.
That's where we be.
Well, even when I did the show at the open mic, I was inviting all my friends that are like from the Bellflower, like Long Beach area. Cause I was like, hey, that's close.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was at someone's house. I thought it was like a comedy venue. So I'm inviting my friends, and like my buddy told me his girlfriend is like, my aunt lives in Bell. There's no fucking venue. He's like, I think people grow like almonds there or something. She's like, "What's happening in Bell, California?"
Yeah.
So I was late, and they all got there before me, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, it's somebody's house." I was like, "What?"
You're like, fuck, another backyard. God damn it. Fucking Walter.
But it was still cool. But I was just expecting like a venue, I guess, or something. I don't know. Not that it mattered, but I wasn't expecting someone's house. And like, so she's like, "No, my aunt lives here, dude." Like, we were rolling up and really didn't know what to expect.
It's funny because every single fucking comedian caps on the fact that it's like in the middle of fucking nowhere in LA, and they're like fearing for their life to fucking do this show.
Right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna murder anybody, murder them at this show because we're in the middle of nowhere. So
The aesthetic in there, though, I do have to say that once you get past, the once you get inside and you go into that garage, I think everyone's perception of the production completely 180s, and they're like, okay, all right,
yeah.
art, I can see it. Okay, cool. It's a cool vibe in there. I like it. I really enjoy how intimate it is, because I've been to comedy shows, right? And like,
Oh, yeah.
it's a dark ass room. Like, you might get picked on if you're in one of the chairs close up to the front. That's usually comes with the territory. But no one is safe at an open mic, bro. There's nowhere to fucking run, like, at all.
And there's nowhere to like hide either. Like those seats, like even like the third row is kind of like in your face a little bit, like
Yeah.
everyone's just there. So that was number 6. So they've done 5 before that, but
Yeah, man.
it was super fun. It was a lot of fun. So
Yeah, hopefully we get to do that again.
Oh yeah, I'll do it. Because not a lot of places too, like I said, like the bringer shows, like you're lucky to do 7-10 minutes. So when Walter's like, we'll have you do 15 to 20, I was like, come again?
You're like, one
And
more
I'm
time?
getting paid? Like it was just like, what? Like it was so crazy to even, quarantine sucks, but like even to do a solid 20, like not very many comedians just get to go do a solid 20 somewhere. So it was so nice to just, you're not rushed. You're not like, because I would try to fit all that you guys heard in like fucking 10 minutes or 7 minutes.
shit.
And it's nearly impossible. You're just
See,
like either
and
talking too fast or cutting shit out or.
Yeah, see, and I thought your set moved along pretty good. I thought that I had a good timing, good rhythm. I thought it was moving along pretty good. Kept the everybody intrigued and everybody like you kept the laugh up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's some comedians that are just like slow build, and then they come in with a punch at the end. But I think it was really, really good along the way. So to hear you say that you condensed that into fucking 10 minutes, holy shit, that's crazy. That's wild.
When you have to, or like a lot of times, what would happen is like I would show up with like a 10-minute set. And then the producer's like, well, you have to do 7. And then it's like, okay, now I have fucking 30 minutes to figure out what 3 minutes I'm taking out. Like, that's way harder. Because especially for me, you don't have to do this, but I like my segues to make sense.
Sure.
So if I'm going to go talking from my gay sister to like, whatever, like it has to make some kind of flow. Like, I don't want to go into like my gay sister straight into like how I got mugged from being like homeless people.
Right.
You don't have to do it, like, but that's just what I like to do. So when I even open mics, when I'm doing new stuff, like I really still want, or I try to have my shit flow. I just don't like doing one liner after one liner, but that works for some people. Like Mitch Hedberg, one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah.
He strictly is just known for his one liners, just one after another. And was his point of view. That's what worked for him or whatever.
Right.
And I think in terms of segues, like Aziz has really good at segues. I don't know if just because I saw him first or if it was just, but I really try to focus on that when I can, because I think it sounds better and it just works better. But I'm glad you guys paid attention, because a lot of people don't. And so it's cool to hear you say that, because I work on that. Like I make it a point to make sense and flow. So
I'll even add to that, man. We knew you wanted to have a comedian on here. We went to an open mic. Angel has a bit of a relationship with Walter, so we're like, hey, you know what? We'll talk to Walter. You know, it'll be cool for him to come on. And we hadn't spoken to him yet. But then you came on, and then I looked at Angel and like, hey, we should approach him. So dude, I mean, I don't know if any other comedians are listening, but yeah, you definitely killed it that night, man. And I think we both agree. Actually, us three, Bryant was there too, that you were our favorite of the night. And that's the reason we went up to you and asked you to be on.
And that's why I can't wait until like this is all over, kind of, if you will, because it's so crazy. 2019, I didn't do too many shows, just like being banned from the Comedy Store and just like life shit or whatever. And then you really, like 2020 hit the ground running. I did like mad shows January, February, and all of a sudden this shit hits.
Yeah.
So I saw, like, I was just lucky enough to be scrolling through Facebook when Walter posted like, hey, any comedians want to perform? And he had like posted it 1 minute ago. And I was like, fuck, all right. So I just messaged him, because I had done shows with him previously.
Right.
He used to do a show out of the Gotti nightclub in, I don't know where it was. It's somewhere over on Firestone. I feel like I had to take the Firestone exit. But it's somewhere out there. And he used to run shows out of there, and I would do shows with him. And he did a show.
Was it at the Epic
at the
Lounge?
Comedy Store randomly. Huh?
Was it at the Epic Lounge that he was doing those shows?
No. Maybe it could have changed his name. I have no idea.
Walter always puts on some good shows, though. They might be in some interesting places, but he always puts on good shows and always gets good talent.
And that's the best part. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like, so that really like hit the ground running, do it yourself, like kind of self-producer mentality that he has. Like he does. He puts a lot of shit on out of nothing sometimes, which is really cool.
Yeah, and the
I
guy
think one of my, like,
cool dude.
The first show I did with Walter, I had brought my friend, and they were flirting when he was on stage. He was doing mad crowd work because he's good at it.
Right.
And for some reason, like, he kept talking to her in between every comedian throughout the whole show. And the whole audience was captivated because, like, okay, these two are going to hook up, because they started talking about, like, eating each other's ass and, like weird shit. And
sounds like Walter.
My friend Pam just didn't care. She's just one of those, like, carefree, like, I don't get embarrassed. Like, let's talk about this. Like, she's like, maybe if I go on a couple dates, I will eat your ass. And he's like, oh, shit.
Okay.
And they exchanged phone numbers and, like, hung out and shit. And, like, they'll still go grab lunch when she comes out here to visit and stuff.
Super
so
fucking
so
cool.
crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking great, right? That's fucking rad,
Yep.
bro.
Hey, let me ask you. You brought up that you hit the ground running in 2020. Obviously, it's rough for everybody. What are you doing, or is there anything that you and other comedians are doing right now to just keep your name out there? Is it just strictly social media? Is there any kind of like I don't know, Zoom type of live performances you can do?
There is, and that's where it comes down to, like, people are just more motivated than I am. Like, I did one Zoom show, and it's still weird. Like, if you guys can imagine looking at the screen, telling jokes in my bed, but there's like 50 little black screens up there. Like, you see people, you're just talking, and so, like, you can hear laughs, but it's just not, I don't know, it's not the same.
Yeah.
And there's some people doing, like, podcasts like this. People are just doing, like, little dumb videos. Like, I will never get a TikTok, but that's a thing that people are doing. So it's just like, I could be better at putting myself out there and stuff, but now it's just a matter of writing. And then, like, if I get a show, I'll film it and throw it on my YouTube. Or I really, because of the quarantine, it's hard, but I have this idea. I have 2 tabs of acid left over from Coachella.
Yes.
And I really just want to film myself taking them and then baking a 3-layer chocolate cake from scratch.
I bank that you only get 1 layer in. I'm banking on you only get 1 layer in before it all just starts.
I want to see what happens. So I want to try to shoot that video before quarantine ends. I think that'd be really dope.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
But that's like, yeah, that's a really good question. There's a lot more I could be doing to get my name out there, I guess. But, you know, I'm still writing. There's a lot of new quarantine shit that I have. There's still old stuff and like
so much good material.
I'm just gonna wait though, like until like the open mic's back up. I'm not like in a rush to like let me film myself telling these jokes for 5 minutes and then like share it with people. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's more of like a vlog. Like I guess a lot of comedians are vlogging now.
Oh,
but I don't do anything exciting. I could talk about how I woke up and had a fucking Pepsi and did the same Winnie the Pooh puzzle again. Like, I don't have like my life isn't really that exciting. So it's also it comes down to it's hard as because of right now not a lot is happening to me. So I'm not having too many experiences to write on. So I'll still like okay. I still walk 1 dog a day. I am a dog walker, but I used to walk 30 dogs a day, and now I walk 1.
Right. Your point of view.
Everyone's fucking home. They can walk their own stupid dogs. So
True.
It's like they don't need me. So it's like, I don't know. So I still try to go out and like have shit happen to me or like
exist.
Yeah, but it's something to just write about. Like, cause you can't go to the theater anymore. Like when I got mugged, I was walking to the theater. Like I can't just go to a bar like and watch the game by myself. So it's like, it's getting hard to, now I'm just telling like dumb jokes about quarantine or, I'm not even taking the bus and train as much as I would.
Right.
So you can't see the crackheads do dumb shit. So it's like, yeah.
Your source material is, it's not as prevalent as it was before quarantine, right? Like there's just.
And I'm not quarantined with anybody. So that's like, I don't have any cool fights to talk about. Like it's just me and my half blind cat. Like that's really all.
I mean,
so,
I'm sure Chainsaw's got some stories, dude.
What
you need to do is you need to take that acid. You need to talk to Chainsaw. That I would pay to see right there.
He knows too much. He would definitely call me out. He'd be like, "This guy is jerking off in front of me like Harvey Weinstein and all this." I'm like, "No."
He got it on my fur. He got it on my fur. That's terrible. That's a terrible thing to do to your pet. That's an awful fucking thing. Jizzing on your pet is terrible, people.
That's probably the worst.
I know we joked about it, but please don't do that at home. That's one thing. That's the one takeaway from this entire program. Our learning opportunity now is don't jizz on pets, please. Okay.
Save it for socks and I don't know what else. Like
fucking anywhere, but anywhere but your fucking pet. Anywhere but your fucking pet. All right, guys, just pretty much anywhere except your pets. All right, thanks. Thank you. Oh well, Chris, Chris, it has been an absolute fucking pleasure having you here today, man. We are definitely running down on time, so I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on here today and doing this with us. Thank you so much for accepting and coming on here with us. We really, really enjoyed our time today. Thank you for giving us a little insight on what it is to be a comedian and how, all the inner workings of it and what you do, not just when you're on stage, but everything that goes around, just coming up with your material. I really do appreciate you getting us into that world. We really want to thank you for that.
One important question that we can't leave without, that we always ask, advice for anybody that wants to become a comedian. Short and sweet, whatever you can give them.
It's not easy. You be really comfortable like being poor. If you're rich, it comes easier, because then you don't need a job to sustain. You can just go to clubs 24/7, just do open mics. But when you're out here working and you're, but also don't get discouraged. You're going to hear no 1,000 times. And if you had a shitty childhood like I did, you were told no the whole time anyway. So that was nothing I had to get used to, but you're going to hear no a lot. You're going to be poor for a very long time, and it is not going to happen overnight. So like I've been out here 5 years now, and I almost don't have anything to show for 5 years. Some people have made it farther in 5 years, but it's all a lottery. Someone's going to make it in 1 year. Another comedian's going to make it in 4 years. So if this is really what you want to do, then I mean, do it. That's the only thing that makes me happy. So
Do what you love.
but yeah, there's gonna be mad hurdles and stuff, and just don't get discouraged and just keep going. So
Super fucking cool. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Chris. Can you
Hey,
just go ahead
yeah.
and tell the people where they can catch you online? What are some handles that they can find you at?
My Instagram is Chris period is period funny. I have a YouTube that's just YouTube and then / my name Chris Dirtien, and then just my Facebook, but that's Christopher period Dirtien, I think. But yeah, I don't know Snapchat, and I don't even have like a show to plug or anything, which sucks. But
All
but
in due
yeah,
time, brother.
hopefully
All in due
just,
time.
I update those with my shows if I ever have them. So if you're interested to see me live, then any information will be up on those. So
For sure. Eddie?
yeah.
Oh yeah, you can find me on Eddie_Nags on Instagram and on Twitter as Eddie Nags all together.
You can find me on Instagram at Deep Sleep Daydreamer. You can also catch my band at Bomb Threat Music on Instagram. I'm probably on Twitter somewhere with an online handle that I couldn't really spell, but we're not worried about that right now. For everybody here at Layman's World, thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you, all 5 of you, for joining us on the chat live today. And definitely we'll see you next time when we continue to talk about more things that we know absolutely nothing about. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you again, Chris.
Hey, thank you, fellas.
Yeah.